Hi everybody. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about my situation, and I thought this would be an easier way to do it rather than type a bunch of stuff. So I think most all of you know, almost 2 years ago I was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver. And most of you might also know that I had 3 heart attacks prior to that and a bypass. And most of you probably don't know that I'd had diabetes prior to that for quite a few years. But the diabetes was never a real threat. I never had to have insulin. I took medication. And, my heart disease was my heart disease. I had a bypass, 3 stents, 3 heart attacks, and, the damage is done. So after my diagnosis of cirrhosis, it was quite scary. I honestly thought, and one doctor actually had me convinced that, my days were numbered and that I probably wouldn't live a year or maybe 2 at the most. I was a little, I guess I was scared in the beginning, and I did a lot of research about the disease. I learned all I could about it. Well, come to find out, my heart was actually a bigger threat to me short term. Cirrhosis is a fatal disease. There's no cure for it. There is a transplant available if you qualify, and most people don't. I don't. If you've had a stent or any bypass, you don't qualify. Period, end of discussion. There's other qualifiers that I don't meet as well. So that's certainly a fatal disease, but it's possible that I could, linger with that. That's good news and bad, because certainly for the last 2 years I've been sicker, internally sicker than I've been probably my whole life for any length of time. And a lot of stomach problems, a lot of nausea. I take a lot of medications. I think I'm up to 12 medications, some for my heart, some for my liver, and some for my diabetes. Now, during this process, my diabetes, so the last 6 months to a year, just went off the rails. My doctor says my body produces plenty of insulin, but my body doesn't know what to do with it. It's having trouble processing it. My liver's got a lot to do with that. So I'm on really not insulin, but some heavy doses of diabetic medicine. So with the diabetic medicine, it causes its own side effects that aren't always pleasant. But back to my heart, the cardiologist felt from the beginning that my heart would probably take me before my liver might. Well, that cardiologist is no longer here, but he found 2 blockages a couple years ago, and one of them was downstream of my bypass, and the other one where I'd already had 2 stents above that bypass that failed. And then he had another one that was somewhere in the bottom part of my heart that he said he couldn't really get to, and not to worry. So, well, I started having symptoms here just a few in the summertime, say June, July, May, and they got worse and worse, and it got to where I couldn't walk to the mailbox or take the trash out to the curb without some serious issues. So I had this new cardiologist, and he decided we better do an angiogram, heart cath as it's known. I've had a dozen of them, and we did, and he found a 95% blockage downstream of my bypass, and he didn't know if he could actually get to it, so he let it go for a week, and he had to order a special type of catheter that could reach that. And a week, or not even a week later, 3 days later actually, I presented to the ER with chest pain. Then 11 hours later, they did the procedure. He was able to put a stent in, and boy, my symptoms were relieved almost immediately. And so that rocked along pretty good, and my liver my liver gave me a scare over the summer as well. They did an ultrasound routine, thought they found 2 masses that turned out to be just a progression of the cirrhosis that causes nodules and fibrotic changes, and it turned out to be that. So my liver disease has progressed. There's a little bit of portal vein hypertension, and this, if my heart doesn't take me out sooner than later, then I will have to face a pretty horrible end with cirrhosis. So, but for right now, I just want y'all to know I'm doing pretty well, and I'm trying to stay active. I'm having trouble with my hands and my joints. It's part of a liver disease. This affects your joints after a time. My hands are almost getting real arthritic feeling, and it's getting harder for me to whittle and carve, but I've made a few things. But I'm going to start doing some videos and review products, like the tools that I've used to make all my carvings and whittlings and whatnot. I feel like I could review those tools, so it'll give me something to do, because I want you to know, if you're ill or if you have any kind of infirmary, if you could stay active mentally, physically, just stay active. Because I can tell you, if you're thinking about anything, even a coloring book, if you're thinking about that, you can't be thinking about the bad things. So it helps you keep your mind off things, and you can find enjoyment. And every day, believe me, I find some joy with my dogs, or something I make, or have some friends online I play golf with, just something. But every day's not perfect. I have bad ones, real bad ones. And I happen to live with Corey, that has the patience of a saint, and she puts up with my bad ones. She calls them golden moments. I call them terrible moments. But so okay, I think I'll cut this off now. I just wanted y'all to know. A lot of people ask about me. I appreciate so much your thoughts, prayers, good wishes. A couple of people have actually sounded disappointed that I'm still here. They'd call me, they'd send me a message, man, what are you still doing? So, sorry to disappoint, but I'm not gone yet. And I'm plugging away. I'm planning on continue to plug away as long as I can. Okay, I hope y'all have a happy Christmas. I just wanted to say about the sunglasses, I'm not trying to be cool, although they are very cool. It's because this light right here is so bright, I'd have to squint if I take them off. So rather than squint, I thought you could look at me and being cool. See ya.